Tough way to start your day if you're an Ohio State fan. Maybe you woke up to it. Maybe you were at work, you were at school, you checked your phone, and you could not believe it. Brian Hartline headed to South Florida to be their next head football coach. This was always going to happen. It was always a long time coming, especially once he was an offensive coordinator. He had success as an offensive coordinator. People said, Ryan Day doesn't have much of a tree right now. His coaches are kind of sticking around, at least the ones that people like. Maybe we should go try one of those out. And I think it's a very, very good fit for South Florida. I really do. He's got the recruiting chops to compete down there. If you start seeing South Florida poaching guys from FSU, from Miami, wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. We've seen Deion Sanders go get guys like Travis Hunter. I think Hartline is capable of that type of deal. I think he's going to get a ton of bounce backs. I think he's going to get those 5 stars that maybe don't make it somewhere else coming over to South Florida to play some ball. So I think it's an awesome hire for South Florida. I think it's a perfect fit. I think Hartline is a great head coach. If you know me, you know I had my doubts about him being an offensive coordinator because of how it went down last time. That being said, he is a head coach. He's got the recruiting chops. He's got the aura. He's got the personality. He's young. And the guys love him. Everybody loves him. Everybody wants to play for him. And that's only going to be amplified being in South Florida around all those athletes. So amazing hire for South Florida. As for Ohio State, he's going to stick around. He's going to coach the playoff games, which is something that's interesting to me. Number one, because I'm familiar with the whole Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin type deal. Nick Saban would not have kept these guys around. I think it's a little bit of a distraction. You're not going to be fully focused like you normally would be. And he does have a co-OC in Keenan Bailey. He does have Ryan Day. I'm sure they help a lot with the game planning. But at the same time, you're not going to be getting that full commitment from Brian Hartline because, like it or not, being a head coach is a really busy, really hard job. And he's going to have a lot of stuff to do before he ever goes to campus on South Florida. Believe that. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see if Ryan Day kind of becomes a play caller, if Brian Hartline's more sits back a little bit. I don't know how that would shake out. I don't know how I would want it to if I was Ryan Day. I understand wanting to keep your staff and your process intact, but at the same time, you need full focus. You need full attention to detail. Will Hartline have it? I don't know. He is in the building for National Signing Day, which is a mixed bag for Ohio State right now. You got Chris Henry Jr., and that's the one. That is the one. The kid is a stud. You got him in the building. He is officially signed to Ohio State. But his teammate from modern day, Caden Dixon Wyatt, signed to USC. Officially flipped, officially headed to play for Lincoln Riley. I get it. You want to play for Brian Hartline. The announcements kind of came back to back. As soon as Hartline announced, he announced his flip. It sounds like he knew this was coming. It sounds like he liked Ohio State. He wanted to play for Hartline. And he kind of wanted to frame it that way, like, as soon as Hartline's gone, I'm gone. So I understand that completely from him. The question for Ohio State is who's next? Because not only are they losing a star recruiter, a star wide receiver coach, and their offensive coordinator, so what are we doing? Who are we going to get? The name I've seen thrown out a lot for offensive coordinator already is Chip Kelly. And I don't hate that. I mean, they won a national title with the guy. How can you? How can you? And I think they've leaned even more into his style this year. They learned a lot from him from what I can tell. And I think he could just come right back. I think that could be the next guy to Ohio State. That being said, it's Ohio State. They could just go poach one that they like. They could go take one from the NFL who's maybe just losing his job. Maybe he's up and coming. Maybe he just doesn't want to be in the NFL anymore. I don't know. So they can do all that. They've also got Keenan Bailey, who is the co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Is he there for just helping a little bit? Game planning, kind of taking care of some of the responsibility? I think so. I don't think they'll go the Keenan Bailey route. Wide receiver coach is going to be the hit. Offensive coordinator, I'm not worried about. It's Ohio State. I think you can get a pretty terrible one, and Ohio State would still be pretty good. Not going to lie to you. That being said, who's going to recruit wide receivers? Who is going to coach wide receivers? Because they're doing both at a really high level, and I think they do go hand in hand. It's kind of easier to develop whenever you're really good at recruiting, and it's really easy to recruit whenever you're really good at developing. So they've had that perfect blend, that perfect mix this whole time. As for who I think they'll go get, I think they should poach high profile. I'm sure they've got a guy within that they like. The guys are going to recommend. Hartline will probably recommend himself. That being said, I would prefer it if they would just go poach a huge name if I'm an Ohio State fan. LSU obviously just got their whole staff fired. You could go get Cortez Hankton, who was the wide receiver coach there. And I do think he gets too much credit. I do think all of LSU kind of gets too much credit because it's not the same guy. They've had all different staffs, all different recruiting guys. We're giving a guy credit for, like, Jamar Chase to never coach Jamar Chase. That being said, he still does recruit and develop at a high level. You got to think about Cortez Hankton. The other guy is currently going to LSU. He's leaving Ole Miss to go to LSU, and that is George McDonald. I think he's done a phenomenal job getting guys to Ole Miss, which is hard to do. It's not like Ohio State. It doesn't recruit itself. You don't see the Ryan Day pass game and just come running to Ole Miss. You don't see the block O and just come running to Ole Miss. The script to Ole Miss, whatever you want to call it there. So I think he's done a phenomenal job recruiting. He's done a phenomenal job in the portal. He's done a phenomenal job developing. If you go get George McDonald, I think that would be a win. I looked at USC because I thought about it, and it's USC, but at the same time, are you going to turn it down for Ohio State? Maybe not. If you're getting paid a little bit more, if you get a bump in job title, something like that. But Dennis Simmons is over there at USC. He's also the pass game coordinator, and he's also the assistant head coach. So I don't think you're going to be poaching from USC. We'll see how it shakes out. I think they're going to go poach high profile. I think they're going to get a guy from the NFL. I think they're going to get a big name that you probably know. If they've got a guy in the building, they've got a guy in the building. I'm not personally aware of it. One thing I want to know, coming from you guys though, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're either an Ohio State fan or a massive Ohio State hater. So my question for you is this fair to Ohio State, to Ryan Day, and to those players to have the split focus of this offensive coordinator? Because Nick Saban didn't think it was fair. Nick Saban told Lane Kiffin get lost. Now that's easy to do when you've got Steve Sarkisian in the building. But that being said, Ryan Day didn't do that. And he's going to have a lot of stuff on his plate. He's going to be working 20-hour days at this point to keep up with both USF and Ohio State, game planning week in and week out for these college football playoffs, and building his roster over at South Florida, recruiting. So I think there's no shot he has his full focus on Ohio State. I think that could affect performance if Ryan Day allows it. That being said, Ryan Day's a great coach. He knows what he's doing. He'll get it figured out, in my opinion. If he's got to call the shots, he'll call the shots. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments, though. If you're an Ohio State fan, I'll be talking a ton about the whole team, the coaching staffs, whatever changes you do decide to make, the Big Ten title game, the playoff run. So go ahead and like this video, sub to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.